Hi everyone, it's Jennifer, and today I am here to do my August reading wrap-up. Now, the first book that I read this month was Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Originally, I was hoping to finish all of the books that I didn't get to during Booktubeathon, but I was kind of having a moment where I just needed something whimsical and comforting, and this did the trick for me. I'm sure most of you know the premise of this book, so I'm not going to go into it. But yeah, I appreciated this book so much more than I did the first two times I read it. I read it whenever I was a child, and then I read it again, either like the end of high school or right after high school. I have been out of high school for 10 years, so yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I found it to be really funny. I liked this better than the first book because I reread the first book earlier this year, and that book is mostly like setting up the world of Harry Potter and the characters, so it's a little redundant for someone who's really knowledgeable about Harry Potter, and this is mostly story and plot, and I love this. I'm going to continue to reread all of the books, but right now I'm thinking this might be rivaling The Goblet of Fire for me as for my favorite Harry Potter book, but that's probably going to change as I continue to read them. The next book that I read this month was on my Booktubeathon TBR, and it was on my Kindle as A Study in Scarlet by Jonathan Conan Doyle. I have this goal to read, I have like reading goals, so I want to read all of Sherlock Holmes, all of Jane Austen, that sort of thing. And this was the first Sherlock Holmes novel. Sherlock Holmes was published in lots of different formats and varieties. The book takes place, it starts out in London on Baker Street, and that's the first half of the book. Part 2 really threw me for a loop because you don't expect it at all. There's no like smooth transition into part 2. Just in part 2, you were all of a sudden in Utah with Brigham Young and the Mormons, and there's a lot of talk of polygamy and things like that, and it just really threw me for a loop. Sherlock Holmes himself does not appear in the second part of the book at all until the very end. So yeah, I didn't enjoy this book that much. I'm really hoping to read the other books and that I will enjoy them more, but I don't know. I don't want to say that I don't like it because it's Sherlock Holmes, but it just wasn't something that I thoroughly enjoyed. Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to keep reading more. We will see. The next book I finished was also on my Booktubeathon TBR. I had read part of this during Booktubeathon, but it is The Visionist by Rachel Urquhart. This book is amazing. I loved this book so much. This would have been in my August favorite if I hadn't read Harry Potter, but it's Harry Potter. I'm going to love it more than most things. So anyway, this book I've talked about to death on this channel, I feel like, so I won't talk about it too much, but I did thoroughly love it. It is about a girl named Polly who grew up in an abusive home, and her dad is an alcoholic, and he's horrible, just absolutely horrible, and she ends up accidentally burning down her house and leaving her dad in it. Now, that is part of the sleeve that she kills her dad in a fire and stuff like that. So that's not a spoiler. Her mom then takes her and her little brother to a Shaker community to hide out while this whole investigation of the fire and everything is going on. And so, yeah, dealing with her demons of her past, like her father and all the stuff that he's done with her, and then being taken into the Shaker community and knowing everything that she knows about the world, and then going into this really secluded, strict lifestyle is a little difficult for her, and she's a little bit of an outsider. She also starts to have visions, and so she's considered to be like a sign from God or from the mother, which I guess in the Shaker community they look up to someone called the mother, who's supposed to be like side by side with Jesus as like a prophet, I think. So anyway, this book is really emotional. Reading it can be difficult in spots. I reviewed a book on my channel called The Little Giant of Aberdeen County. If you liked that book, I think you would like this book. Also, I think if you liked The Secret Language of Flowers, I think you would like this book. It's one of those books where the main protagonist is an outsider from the norm and just constantly faces adversity. So it's kind of it's a sad book. It is not an exciting, fun read. It's quite depressing and sad and makes you think about the world. But yeah, this was a 5-star read for me. If you're going to read it, get a box of tissues. You're going to need them. And finally, I am not 100% finished with this book, but I still have a little bit of time. I actually plan on finishing it this evening. But it's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. This is also on my booktubeathon TBR. It is a really short book. But yeah, I also have my little Alice in Wonderland bookmark here. So very fitting. I love this book. This is so good. The writing is amazing. It is very whimsical and happy writing, and I don't know. I can't believe I haven't read this before. I think earlier this year I read Peter Pan, which kind of inspired me to go through and read all of the books that some of my favorite Disney movies were based off of. So yeah, the book is better than the Disney movie. The Disney movie is good, but yeah, definitely better, and a million times better than the Johnny Depp Alice in Wonderland. I wasn't a huge fan of that. I like the original Disney film better, but compared to both of those, the book wins. Like, so much better. I highly recommend you reading this if you want a quick and easy, fun read. But yeah, those are the books I read this month. I was looking back on previous reading wrap-ups, and apparently 4 is my magic number in a month. I feel like I'm constantly reading, but I don't read apparently as much as a lot of booktubers. But yeah, anyway, I will be back soon with my September TBR. I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.